Hello, good afternoon. We are again here at the JEFO for the webinar, and this week we started the series Woman and Science. And for this, we have the honor to have here today Professor Saja Nassik. Welcome, Saja. Very thank you for accept our invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Santin. It's my big pleasure to be here with you to share this nice talk about this very interesting topic. Thank you to invite me. I think it's gonna be a very nice talk.
Yes, a lot of people are interested. So we talk about Africa, and we are very likely wondering. A lot of people are wondering what is this livestock revolutions that we talk about? What is happening in Africa right now in terms of livestock? Can you discuss a little bit about that for us?
Yeah. First of all, I think usually when we think and we talk about Africa, we are focused on wildlife and wild animals, and we ignore this livestock because it's so important. And when you look a little bit on some recent research, they try to explain to people that the future is in Africa, and especially when we are thinking and talking about livestock. Now, the concept of animal production is very different from other area as America or Europe. In Africa, we have a very different link with animal and with production animal. It's a symbol of wealth for sure, but we have a very atypical relationship. It's a kind of honor of family. So we need to improve this production and to make first of all a very good diagnostic.
The idea that we have here, we received some questions, and I really thank you everybody that sent questions to us for the webinar. And still, you can do a questions during the webinar. Just write here, and we can send it to address it to Saja. So one questions that people has here is that Africa is very warm, and then you have a lot of issues with heat stress, and also problems with because it's dry. We have the idea that every place is dry. So how you guys address it? How is the kind of productions that we have in Africa?
Yeah, uh, I think that is a wrong idea about Africa. In Africa, we have many and different weather from the north to the south of Africa. For example, I'm coming from Morocco, and in north of Africa, the weather is like Europe, so it's Mediterranean weather. And when we move to the south, really we have a tropical weather. So we still have water, we have many resources according to plants, according to diversity of animals, and also of livestock. It's not this idea that we don't have anything and we don't have resources. I think it's one of the big continents in the world, one of the big and important continents of the world. And now we manage, we have many livestock, we have bovine production, cattle, sheep, and we have also poultry production. It's become very important in our area. We have also pork, and we are trying to improve this production and to bring to our region other idea, other concepts of production to improve this issue. Because, as you know, I think in 100 years, Africa will be the number one when we are talking about population. It will present up to 40% of the world's population. So we will have a balance, a very hard balance to do. We will have more people to feed, and the resources will be, I think, the same, and we should to improve it. So I think according to our education and our projects in the future, and even now, We are trying to be innovative and make some collaboration between people on this same earth.
So you were saying that the population is growing, and then this is what is push the livestock productions out there. What is the characteristic of the animal productions there? Who is the producer? We have integrations, or you have big companies, small farms. How is exactly growing
Yeah.
this livestock in Africa?
So this is our big lake because in Africa you will find everything. You will find the big farmer, the big integration, and you will find the small farm, the small livestock, and usually it's a woman activity. So now we are trying to improve more and more the modern model of production because we have some big integration in Morocco or even in other area in Africa that look like exactly like Europe and like America. And we are trying to bring up the small farmer according to some collaboration or cooperation. So maybe this kind of mix between at least two types of production make the development of agriculture and of livestock so hard and so difficult that we are trying to face this big challenge. So how to find a good balance between the small farmer to improve the production because you need more money, more investment, and how to help the other, on the other hand, the big integration.
Uh, when you talk about these two models, like you have small farms and you have integrations, do you think, like, because we are starting development, I come from Latin America, so I know that we started the animal productions many years ago. I come from Brazil, that we now it's we are gigant and producing a lot of things. But during the process of development of animal productions in these areas, Europe, North America, Latin America, everywhere, Asia,
Mhm.
we learned something. We saw something that is not very good, and we are learning all the time. Do you think that because you are starting the development there, are really some lessons that have been done in another countries that have been applied there, or you think you still are doing in your own way? And what is the sustainability vision of Africa revolution?
Yeah, it's a very interesting reflection and question, and this is the point in Africa. Uh, Up to now, we don't have our models because we should have our models of development. We still import the ideas in some area, and we still import the model. And in this way, we are giving money to the other people, and not we don't keep our resources on Africa. I mean by that we still have two kinds of production because uh, I think the big issue is about our culture. Still mean to have a small farm for women or for small family. That when we are trying to make some trade with other foreign in the world, we should be on the page. We should follow the trend in the world.
So, in your talk, you really say one time did a sabbatical in the University of Davis in California, and I saw a guy that have been in Africa, and he told he gave a seminar, and he said that the poultry, especially in that case, the poultry productions was really a woman activity. Like the woman take it to sustain the family. And you right now say the same. You say the farm are
Mm.
kept by woman. So can you tell us what is the role of the woman in this process of livestock development in Africa? How this is going on?
So up to now, the role of women in rural area, because I should to talk about the revolution of population on Africa. At the past, we have more people living on the rural area. But up to now, we have something like 50% urban area and the other 50% working and living in urban area and in the rural area. And I think this trend of movement of population impacts the way how we will product animals. So when we are talking about the role of women to produce or to improve the animal production is something like we find in the family, mainly the woman to take care after the animals, to bring, even for feed the animals and even to make some diagnostic and to take care of health of animals. And we still have this model up to now, I think everywhere in Africa. And especially for, it's not typical for poultry, because poultry maybe it's small and it's easy to manipulate birds, but you will find some women that have a very interesting cattle production or cow production.
And when you talk about the woman in this process, or what is education that we have? The people that are in the livestock area now, what kind of education or training that they are having for these revolutions? And
So in the past, this families or this woman didn't have any level of education. And it was a kind of plague and challenge for this rural area. So people acting by reflex, by instinct. It was something easy to do for them. But now, at least, I know more example for my country, for Morocco. We try to to make some projects for education or rural education for this woman. And this education is based on many things. The first is how to write and to read. And then we give to this woman everything and everything like the technical tools to be able to take care of animals or of vegetation and plants. So we make some partnership and our governments give some money to the university and to other structures to go to the rural area and give some training to people there. Because the woman in rural area take care of animals. That's also the trade and the small business is solved by this population, by women.
and what is the change in family social hierarchy when you have the woman take care of this area, because this makes more money, I believe, right?
Mhm.
So how this changing in terms of social hierarchy in Africa with
Yeah,
this livestock growing?
yeah, exactly. And this is a very, very good thing because in Africa we have a very huge diversity. And according to the country, you will have the number one of the family, maybe is the father and the man, that maybe you will have in other area and in other countries, the number one will be the woman. It, it's really very different from area to another one. For example, in Morocco, when you move from the north to the south of our country, it's so different. So sometimes, and this is a sad side of this kind of uh, of production, because sometimes you will find the woman work a lot for animal for production and bring the money as the number one, and the person who will make the decision will be the man.
Yeah, I have been in Morocco, and thank you for the invitation. We visit your university, and basically the girls, your students is basically girls.
Yeah,
So we have like a meeting, and they are very smart girls, and they are very well prepared. I saw that, I learned it, but at the same time, I felt that. Because people still today they are sometimes how can I say, a little bit avoid to think that we should that woman has the same rights than men's, because this happens in Europe. It's not really like this in Latin America, because I come from there. And I saw, especially in my visit, that however they are very well educated, this woman, they, like you said, the one that produce more money than the man, but the decision is the man. So how this impact in the development of livestock? Because we think always this as something personal, emotional, that woman want to be like a man, but it's like some kind of, if you have more education, more woman educated, and who take the decision is someone that is not very well educated. How can we balance, how can we have a sustainability growing when this kind of scenario happens? So can you give me your vision, but also if you think there is any solution or any improvement that you can waiting for future?
yeah. I thank you for this question, because it's so, and also it's so complicated to give you one answer and one reason for this situation. Really, I think that, to be optimist, things are changing everywhere, even in Morocco or in other areas, and are changing in a good way. Because now we are, everyone in Africa know that we should work together, men and women, to improve our situation. And when I mean by situation, economic, socio-economic, agricultural, political situation. And now we are pushing women to be in a very high position in administration and in some very critical positions. That we should to know that in our system we have rural area. It's very different, and I mean by that that in rural area now women know what they want, because it's a kind of culture. We can't give the people the money, that we should show to women how to improve the earn, how to develop uh, herself. And for that, we have many, at least in Morocco, many associations that work together with government to give money, not for family, not for the woman, because it's not a good idea, but to give them education. And really, I think we are on the good way, at least in my country, because now when you travel and when you go, for example, to rural area and we discuss with women, you will notice that we don't have a very gap between the mentality of women in rural area and urban area. And I think the thing needs some time and maybe some push more and more the women to take this decision, because this is, I think, one of the solutions that I can give you right now.
I, you know, I'm pushing a lot, because I know that you are one of the bright woman in Africa. I saw that Africa should like choose, and you are one of the bright women in Africa working for development, and now you are talking about education. And so I say that the revolution in Africa will come with the education of the woman that will be prepared to sustain it. And however, that of course there is woman, man's and woman in the history, but why I'm very honored, in fact, to have you here, Saja, because
Thank you so much.
I have been visiting you, and I saw how competent you are, how competent are your students and everywhere, and how competent I'm myself as well. But it was the first time in my life that I felt how hard to be woman, because it
Yes.
was the first time in my life that I was not allowed to go in a pub because I'm a woman. So I'm bringing this discussion here because sometimes we are here in this world and think that everything is possible, but you are saying that is like education, is work hard to have more money, but you still don't have small rights like to just go with friends, go out with friends.
Mm.
And I'm not saying about the cultural aspect of alcohol or something, it's just to be in the place, you know? So, how about this? How to be a woman, an educated woman, a professor like you are, a research like you are, in your country? How is to be like that?
So I think in our situation, because we have many reasons to be in this kind of reflection, and as I say that in in my country, women should deserve the position. It's not easy, and even the educated men and open-minded men know that. So if you have, for example, a man and woman with the same skills and the same situation, economic situation, we still facing as a woman some social challenge and social pressure because of our culture. So, and I think this is should be worked and done by women. In, sometimes we are here and we are waiting for the chance, and I don't believe in this way. We are to be active to change and to prove to the people, to the others, even the women, because sometimes we are facing uh, some ideas, some wrong ideas from women and not from, especially from men. So we should be, as a woman in Africa, we should prove to the people that we are, after all, and before everything, we are a human and human being, and we deserve to be ambition and to have some dream and to live as we want. want. So this is the issue, and at the same time, sometimes I'm so happy because when I compare myself in Morocco and in other areas, I think that the things are changing and still changing.
Yes, yes, you are a very courageous woman, and I felt it when I was there, because the situation is not every day. I feel even today I had challenges in my life because of this situation.
Mm.
But what I would like to address is also um, that one thing that you told right here is about why we sometimes we need to be with the woman, like we fight with another woman, because however I know, and for the man it's very easy just to be like they are. We as women, we also have a lot of just like competitions, and we don't support each other, right? So we saw the if I saw a beautiful woman, I compete with her. So I don't see how competent she is in terms of professional, and this is make us weak. So do you think that in Africa and in general way, this is what changing? This is what's really moving in a different way or not?
Yes, hopefully it's changing on a very good way, I think. And I think that this challenge and this way of thinking exists everywhere. Even in Europe, I was there many times
Okay.
working on some universities or lab, and as a woman, I'm facing some reflection of some kind of thinking uh, out of the box, but on the bad way and not the good way.
Yeah, this is something not addressed to Africa. I'm just bringing it here, but this is I felt every day. So I think the most education for us to change our position as a woman is come from us, like support each other, to be kind with each other and respect each other. We have a questions here. I'm just looking in my here to take a questions from Mohammed Badi. He said that. The African context is very specific, and he
Mhm.
said that the real problem, is more political than academic. Uh, so, do you agree that in Africa the problem is more political than academic? That
Yes,
how do you?
yes, I agree with this idea because in Africa we're still facing political issues, and as you know, everywhere the political issues impact the other thing. They impact academic topics. They impact even the health system. They impact our relationship with other countries. So everything, I think, at least not especially in Africa, but everywhere, everything is impacted
Yeah,
by political
yeah.
issues.
I saw the question, but it's basically what I thought. I think all the word, the political situation is more. So you tell that the university is working with the farms. We are doing support for them, and about when you think about sustainability, are you giving them really support to be more sustainable? How are you address this aspect of sustainability from the university to the farms? What in practical way they are doing, or you guys are teach them to have been done to be sustainable and avoid the same mistakes that we did in our countries
Yeah,
when we start?
exactly. So I think that according to the history of Africa, we across some level and some steps to develop our livestock and our production. Our first goal was we should produce more and more and more to feed people. And we didn't think about environment, about sustainability of our system of production. Was the first goal of everyone and everywhere in Africa. But now we are changing our way to do the thing because we need two others, I think two others, at least two others points. The first one is to produce a good product for people. So we are talking more and more about quality and safety of our food. And recently, we have many products in Africa and between country under Africa that we call collaboration, South-South collaboration. So we need to work together with other African countries to think about environment and about sustainability of our system of production, because we understand that if we follow 100% the way of production and the system of production in world, one day we will be in a very bad situation, and according to the health of human, but also of animals.
We have a very good questions here going for this area from Beatriz. Beatriz, she asked if there is some regulations, recently regulations that have been implemented out there, like as a control of waste, control of use of antibiotics. How you guys are dealing with regulations in terms of to achieve this sustainability?
Yes, it's a very bright question because now we are working at least in north uh, of Africa and also in other countries, because my university have many collaboration in this way with other countries. And now we are working on changing regulation about the use of antibiotics and also for management of waste. Now we can't not do what we want. Now things are changing, and I think the main question here is why. Because, as you know, we have many resources, and to have more money and more investment for Africa, we are obliged to make some trade with Europe and with America. So, if we want to be able to send our production there, we should follow their regulation. So, even we don't care about regulation about the use of antibiotic in Africa, at least to be able to export our production, we need to do it. We need to be on the same level as European or American regulation.
Oh, really? So you should follow the European rules
Yes,
to
yes.
produce livestock of them.
It is for them to export our products.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, for example, we have questions here from, let's see here. Miriam Gordon, she asked, if you go, and I think it's appropriate here, if you go, for example, as a professor, if you go to a farm, a beef farm, what is really you need to address when you go there? What level of education you need to address when you go to a small farm? You need to be what's the first as a professor, as a extension service, what will be the first issue that you're gonna address?
So to go to help, this is the good word to use in this situation, to help the small farm, because our role as a professor, when I work with a small farm, it's not the same philosophy, not the same way that when I work with a big integration. So when I'm going to a rural area and I want to help people there, at least in Morocco, as I said before, the region is very different. You will find Berber people that talk and speak only Berber. So at least I should be able to communicate with them and to use the same language as them. And also I should be able to live with them and understand uh, their idea, their objectives, their kind of life, because it's so different. This is the number one. And then you should help them that don't say that you are helping people there, because it's a kind of it's a character. We should help people that explain the thing. It's a like win-win collaboration. I need you to understand this region. I need you to improve my skills, and also you need my help to improve your production. And also sometimes, because in my vet school we perform a lot of training in rural area, and we pass at least 2 weeks and more with rural family and trying to understand the first thing to understand them, how it's working with them, and the way of their life because it's really very different from other areas. Yeah.
We have a question here from Paris Muniaka. Thank you for the questions, Paris. And he said that Africa is a big continent, of course, and with many countries with different culture and especially weather between one and another one, diversity. And he asked, he asked, no, he comment that he's wondering if when you talk about livestock revolution, it's really a case of the total continent, or is a case of specific countries that or regions of the Africa that really are doing this revolution. So the revolution is in now continent, or do you think or do you
Mm.
know that this is from a specific region or a specific country?
So the revolution of livestock's model is done it's running everywhere in Africa. But the level and the speed of this revolution is different from countries to another.
And can you say to us what is the region or what was the country that really are the lead of the African Revolution?
So it's up to the type of production. As you know, I'm working at least 14 years on poultry production. So when we are thinking about poultry production, we will think about Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, South of Africa, and another another countries in Africa. But when we are talking about sheep production, we are thinking about another countries like Egypt, sometimes Nigeria, Sudan. It's different. That's why we have a very huge diversity, and that's why, at least in my country, enhance this collaboration between countries of Africa and how I can complete the production in, for example, in Burkina Faso and give them what they need, but I have it in Morocco and Israel.
And there is interchange between different countries in this development, or each country is doing by themselves? How do you think this is working?
Uh, Up to now, we have many collaboration and many helps between African countries, and I think, and modestly, that the leader of this collaboration is Morocco, and Morocco have a very huge and big role to help the other African countries for many reasons. And now, if you want to be as a Moroccan, if you want to do some help or some business in Africa, you will find many facilities to do it. And up to now, we have many collaboration with other African countries. And I will give you some example because it's a very nice revolution of poultry production. In the past, we export the incubated eggs to Africa. Was the first step of collaboration through this trade between Morocco and African countries. But now the thing is changing. Moroccan people are going there and making some facilities and some structure and very big structure there to show to the people, mainly in Senegal and Mali and Burkina Faso, how to produce poultry, how to make business in poultry, and it's working very good. This is one of examples in my topic, poultry production and poultry health. But you will find the same way of strategy. And for example, when you are talking about health or talking about in food industry or even about finance, about putting some bank in Africa. And as I said before, Morocco is one of the big leaders to enhance this relationship between African countries.
This is interesting. And also, when you talk about business in livestock in Africa, we are talking about are you in Africa industry, animal industry, are you willing to take the technology from other countries? Or are you also developing your own technologies, like in terms of vaccine, equipment, nutrition, feed, how is the situation right now? You are
Mm.
more taking from the outside, or you are developing your own?
We have up to now we have at least two kind of models. I think in the latest decade, we are developing our solution. We are developing some vaccines, some drugs, some idea. We push people, even at the university and especially at the university, to be innovative. And we have some incubator in at least 4 or 5 universities in Morocco. And for sure, we still need to import some solutions as vaccine or as genetics of animals, as you know, especially when we are talking about protein. But we are developing our solutions. So we have to go. And maybe I will give you a recent example. It's not on livestock, but according to COVID-19, I think that Morocco was one of a good example because we produced our diagnostic kits, our tools to make some diagnostic and some drugs, and even Moroccan people were surprised by this innovative people that we have. We have a very good capacity to change things and to be, I think, on the same rank than other countries.
Very, very good. So, we started talking when we saw it's almost the time to finish. It's a lot of information for us to address. And as we are going to the end of the conversation, I always would like to give you a chance to talk about. And normally I do the opposite. I start talk to people, invite people to tell about their experience when they start the webinar. In your case, as by purpose, I let it to the end. Why? Because we are in the Woman webinar series, and I would like it to give you, like, of course, you're gonna have, as everyone, the final message that you want to leave. But before you let your final message, I want to let us know how a little girl in Morocco, in Africa, thinking into be a veterinarian, a PhD, a professor, and how this happens in your life under the circumstance that you have been uh, growing, right?
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth, for this nice talk. And really, it's a very emotional question.
I know.
Yeah. So my dream or my goals was to be professor, to do research and development. Because when I was a child, I believe that to change things, because I see that we need to change things. The, the main solution is education, research, and development. This is three key words. And then I to be veterinarian, it's a very long story because In Morocco, we are trying to go to a big school, a very interesting school like my institute. So when I was there for the first year preparatory years, I have a choice to be engineer or veterinarian. But I choose the veterinarian, and if I need to make another choice, it will be the same because I understand that one of the solutions for sustainability to improve the income of Africa and of my country, it should be based on animal production, on food safety. So then, when I get my diploma of veterinary medicine in 2010, directly I decided to do another thing, and I have the chance to make and to perform my PhD in Morocco. So I'm proud to say that Nasix idea is a Moroccan product, 100 Moroccan product. My high school, my university, and even my PhD was supported by my country. And this is the main message to people. In Africa, I think we need to stay in Africa. We need to stay in our country to develop our country. Maybe we need to or we want to do some experience abroad, but please think about your country, your home country. It's so important because we have a very huge capacity to develop and to change many things in our countries.
Very, very beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
what is the final message for all these people that are listening us, and what you want to let for them?
So my last message, because it should be spontaneous. I don't think about it. It's something that's not hard relation between livestock, but please do everything with love and by your heart, and it will be easy going to do.
Interesting. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Elizabeth.
all your talk. And I want to thank you. And when I thank you for your time, I also want to thank you to be a woman, to be strong, and thank you. I would like to thank you all the African women, all the girls that I met, and the one that I didn't. But I have the same respect because I know that if my life is still with a lot of challenges, I'm sure that the woman professional in Africa has much more challenge than me. So thank you for being a woman. Thank you for being part of this revolution in livestock. And I'm pretty sure that you're gonna do a good job in a sustainable way to maintain this revolution in this symbiotic world that we live. Thank you so much for all of
Thank you so
you.
much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
So we follow next week with another beautiful woman from Brazil. We talk
Oh,
to Dr. Jaluz again because everybody asked her to come back, and we take this opportunity so she'll come back to talk about antibiotic and swine.
mhm.
And at the same time, I would like to thank you everybody that stay every week here. I want to give a special thank you to Nilce Soares because I saw that she's one of my follows here, a very nice fellow and someone that I really like so much. It was my master and part of my life. So thank you, Nilce, to be following us. And I hope to see you soon next week to talk more about women. And you know, Saja, many there is some girls here asking to do PhD with you and a lot of things. I will not say
Oh,
it here, but I send to you all the contact, and then you can be in
for
touch
sure.
with them. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
and
much.
see you all next week. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Saja.
Thank
Have
you. Thank you,
bye
everybody.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.